This is me, and this is my best friend Ellen, and this is the Wellsville Fighting Squids Marching Band. Along with our fellow squid mates, we're proud to be in the band, even though we don't get too much respect from the rest of the school. The thing is, we just didn't care. I guess we were willing to sacrifice being cool because we love to play music. Besides, we were happy to be part of something bigger than ourselves. It may just have been the word squid, but it was big enough for us. That is, until one tiny little dot blotted out the happiness that we once knew and plunged me into a world of darkness.
Hey, smiling strange, you looking happily deranged. I can't settle a shin bed, or have you picked your target yet? Hey, Sandy, don't your dog bite? Hey, Sandy.
Super hot gas called plasma.
It all began, like most important things in life,
To confine and
in
heat
science
a
class.
plasma of deuterium and tritium. At the appropriate conditions of temperature, density, and energy confinement, deuterium and tritium nuclei will join together or fuse.
Think of it, Pete.
In the process,
Two separate atoms come together and create something that's bigger than both of them.
Einstein's
It's like they need each other to fulfill their destiny.
Each deuterium tritium
Yeah.
will result in the
Wow.
production of one neutron.
I never thought
and
of it
one
that
helium
way.
nucleus.
Attention! Attention! This is Band Director Markle. All marching band members report to the band room on the double. This is not a drill!
Maybe Ellen and I were like a couple of hydrogen atoms, destined to combine into a helium isotope. But I guess I just wasn't ready. If I had been, maybe this whole disaster would never have happened.
Destiny knows where we live.
None of us really took Mr. Markle too seriously. I mean, he was a Nimrod, but he was always kind of a harmless Nimrod. At least he was until the day that letter came.
I have here our official notification as finalists in the regional championship. Now, I don't know how you squids did it, but I do know this. In 2 weeks, we are going to make Wellsville history.
It had always been Mr. Markle's dream to win the state championship. Back in '67, he had a squad that should have won it all, but he forgot to cross the T in horned toads, and they were disqualified. After that, he was never quite the same.
I've been working on a new formation.
It was based mostly on the final battle plan of the Crimean War, and involved two maneuvers that hadn't even been invented yet. Even more radical was his daring decision to change our typeface from the traditional Helvetica to Roman Gothic.
Can he do that?
There's some changes in the lineup. Tucker, you're on top of the Q. Bronson, you're on middle D. And Markle Jr., I want you on top of the I. And finally, Ellen Hickle. I've been watching you work. I like what I see. Come next Saturday, you're dotting the I. You have been chosen to ride the I. Do you have what it takes?
Yes, sir.
We were all happy for Ellen. It was a big honor. As any band geek will tell you, without a great dot out there, it didn't have diddly squid.
With the dot in place, nothing can stand in our way. Follow me, my squids, and you will be part of something bigger than you've ever known. Total, full, frontal victory!
By the end of the next day, the band began to break down into two different factions. Those of us who were in it just for the fun, and those, like Markle's buttweed nephew, James Markle Jr., who were in it for the glory.
Let's go, Dogface! Move it!
And the weird thing was, all of a sudden it was hard to tell which side Ellen was on. My lips feel like warm cheese.
Mine feel like smushed grapes. But you know what they say, Pete? No pain, no gain. Let's do it again.
I wanted to talk to my brother to get the Pete perspective on things, but he was having problems of his own.
Please refrain from smoking and hold your questions till the end.
It seems his school bus driver, Stu Benedict, was going through a tough time because his girlfriend, driver Sally Knorp, broke up with him. According to legend, they fell in love in school bus school, but as soon as things got serious, they ran into a dead end. It seems driver Stu had a little trouble expressing his true romantic feelings. He tried to forget her, but he couldn't. Instead, he began driving all over town, giving his passengers a guided tour of his shattered romance. What was once a 10-minute bus ride now dragged on for hours.
Over here on your left, that's where Sally dropped a scoop of pistachio swirl. I picked it up, I wiped off the gravel, and I put it back on her cone.
To try and help, Pete offered some friendly advice.
Deal with it, dipwad! Take us home!
But Stu was too far gone to listen.
Coming up next, the hardware store where we used to buy our weather stripping.
Meanwhile, things at band practice were starting to get a little out of control.
Breathe deep, my squids. Work those lungs.
I'm telling you, Pete. Markle's wigged. His winning thing has warped his brain.
Markle says my duck feet are against regulation. If I can't angle him in 16 degrees, I'm out of the band.
This isn't why we joined up. Maybe we should talk to him.
Count Ellen out. What? I mean, take a look for yourself. She's partners with James Markle Jr. now.
They're partners? Yeah, I meant to tell you, but I guess I didn't want to upset you.
What?
I couldn't believe it. Ellen and Markle Jr.? What could she possibly have in common with that chunk head?
Ellen, when I look at you, you know what I see? A dot.
Oh, well, I've been under a lot of pressure lately.
No. A dot inside. You're not like the rest of these clowns. You could be a champion. Let me help you be the dot you were always meant to be.
He helped her, all right. As the days passed, she became more and more consumed with achieving a state
I am a dot.
of total dotosity.
I am a dot. 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 I am a dot.
Then he set out to forge a psychic brain meld so they could stay perfectly in step and telepathically bridge the gap between the dot and the rest of the eye.
Hi.
Hi, Pete.
What are you doing?
Going over the third movement of the Prussian battle hymn. James Jr. says that instead of drums, the percussionists used to use live hand grenades.
Neat. Are you coming over later?
I can't. James Jr. and I have to practice.
Oh.
Thanks for being a good sport, champ.
I had seen enough. It was time to remind Ellen what band was supposed to be and get her away from James Markle Jr. My plan wasn't based on the Crimean War or anything, but I liked it. Everyone knew but Ellen and the Markles. On my signal, I got the horn section to play Love Roller Coaster by the Ohio Players.
What is this? We are playing El Capitan.
I knew the song would attract Artie, the strongest man in the world, like a giant funk magnet. And sure enough,
Music of the gods! I'm live, George Clinton.
by the time Artie began dancing the Voodoo Crispy, Markle's spell was broken. When I saw Ellen laugh, I knew everything was gonna be all right. How was I to know it wouldn't last? As Artie launched into the diesel jerk, Markle was busy formulating a diabolical scheme to regain control of the band and snatch Ellen away from me forever.
One day you'll look back and ask, what did my life amount to? What did I accomplish? And you'll remember this championship when you could have won a place in history. And you'll say, no. My life meant nothing. One kid ruined the championship for all of us. And maybe I should punish only him. But you're a team. You march together, you practice together, and now, thanks to him, you'll suffer together.
Nice going, Pete.
Yeah, thanks.
My plan had backfired. Within days, whatever resistance we had left had been completely drilled out of us. We were just puppets. And Markle was the vile puppeteer. I had to snap Ellen out of it before it was too late. I found her the Saturday before the championship, practicing the now legendary sliding S.
Ellen? Ellen! We need to talk.
I can't now, Pete. I'm having a problem with the belly curve.
It's just... I haven't seen you in such a long time. I mean, seen you. I miss you, Ellen. I miss doing things together.
Pete, the championship's in 2 days. Things are different. I'm a dot now.
Yeah, well, whatever happened to just playing music? What happened to band being fun? Ellen, what about those two hydrogen atoms? Two lonely elements, needing each other to fulfill their destiny.
Now look what you made me do. I have to start all over again. Pete, would you please go? I have to concentrate.
On your right, the factory that produced our hibachi barbecue. Sally loved vegetable kebab.
Meanwhile, Pete tried everything to try and derail Driver Stu's misery tour.
Take the cash, crankbait.
But nothing worked.
Up next, the forest that produced the wood for Sally's house.
As Pete got closer to the edge, I fell right over it, thanks to a little push from James Markle Jr.
You know, You've had this coming for a long time, Marco. Yeah? Show me what you got. I'll show you what you got. A stay in formation. Stay in formation. You know something, Red? You fight the same way you march, the same way you play. Like a loser.
It was the worst day of my whole life. I was disgraced before the band. And worst of all, I had lost Ellen for good. As for Pete, he had lost all hope of ever getting home.
Nearing the last stop for the evening, I'd like to point out the blinking red light where Sally and I once stopped.
That night, I thought about how I really felt about Ellen, and I realized that we were like a nuclear chain reaction that never got started. We could have exchanged neutrons and lit up the entire solar system. Instead, there was only darkness.
By the day of the championship, there was nothing left to do but what Markle had programmed us to do. Win.
This is the moment that decides it all. That separates the losers from the legends. Will your future be empty? Or will it be filled? Filled with a nickel-plated, hand-inscribed trophy. Now, destiny may know where you live, my squids. But will you be home when it comes over to play? Will you?
Yes.
I didn't know it then, but as I marched towards the rest of my lonely life, another lovelorn man was hurtling towards the field in a shiny yellow school bus. My brother Pete had launched a plan to get driver Stu Benedict back together with his ex-flame, driver Sally Knorp, and put a stop to the misery tour. He asked driver Stu to
Show us the bleachers.
Where me and Sally forgot our umbrella.
but he was really leading Stu to the state championship, where he knew Sally was standing by to pick up a load of majorettes.
Did I ever tell you about the prettiest girl to ever wear a blue and gray uniform?
Did I tell you about the only girl who could ever share my life? Well, let me tell you about driver Sally Knorp. Oh, maybe somewhere in America, there's a girl better able to handle a 4-point U-turn. But I doubt it. Don't make my mistake. Get good traction. Don't let love slip away. When love comes, you better pull over to the side of the road and open your door, because nothing in this world matters more.
Stu, I didn't know you felt that way.
Sally? I guess I just was never able to say it before. May I, come closer?
Please.
Sally Knorp.
I'm listening, Stu.
Sally Knorp. You are...
Say it, Stu.
Sally Knorp. You are my
Whoa!
Stu, I just needed to know.
Love is a many splendid thing.
10 seconds.
Seeing Driver Stu and Driver Sally, I knew it had to be done.
Go, 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 go!
Somehow, I had to show Ellen how I felt. It was the riskiest move of my life, but I had to do it. The band was so well trained, they had to follow. I wasn't sure I could really pull it off without a diagram.
Rick! Ray! What are you doing?
Ruining everything.
I tried to remember our science film, so I could recreate the chain reaction we saw.
You can't do this to me!
That's what you think, Krabby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fighting Squids have just made a formation never before attempted on any football field. It looks like the sun. Oops, somebody pinch me. I believe they're going to attempt a thermonuclear fusion, the force that powers the stars.
Pete.
Ellen! Don't do this! He's destroying everything we've built together!
There appears to be two heavy hydrogen atoms moving closer together. They're reaching a state of hot plasma, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay in your seats.
Burn, baby, burn!
Ellen?
You don't have to say it, Pete. I know.
We have fusion!
Breaking formation had snapped the whole band out of Mr. Markle's full frontal mind warp. As for Ellen and me, we were finally joined into a new element that was much, much bigger than anything we had ever known. We didn't know what the future had in store for us, but what did it matter? We fulfilled our destiny.
Oh, you crazy man, you didn't notice her? Well, you must be blind. 'Cause all I do now is think about how she will be mine. I couldn't stand up, I couldn't sit down. One look at her and I stumble around. One look at her, I get irrational. Well, she ties my tongue. I saw her downtown on a cloudy day. And she brought the sun. She's not a part of the scene. She don't socialize.